the May 10th, 2023 City of Springfield License Commission meeting. Like to open the meeting at exactly 5:30 p.m. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our License Commissioners hearing held on Wednesday, April 26, 2023. Did all commissioners receive a copy of the minutes?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, do you have an opportunity to read them? And any corrections or changes that we have to make?
No, I didn't see it.
I didn't see anything.
Okay. Then that being the case, I make a motion that we approve the minutes for the Springfield Board of License Commissioners hearing held on Wednesday, April 26, 2023. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Singletore? I don't think Peter's on. Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio?
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Okay, I know Peter just stepped away. And it's a yes for me as well. Okay, we'll continue to new petitions. The first petition is a petition for a change of manager for Samaya Restaurant Inc., DBA Malagon Restaurant located at 137 Chestnut Street from Genesis Pujols to Dominga Pujols, manager of record. Is there anyone here for Malagon? No. Okay, we can always come back.
Going.
Peter, we didn't hear you before you.
At Popeyes, we make our chicken on grandma time.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Anyone can hear me?
Where's that coming from?
Can anyone hear me? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Darlin's iPhone, we can hear you.
Oh yeah. So I'm here with Darlin. Darlin doesn't know pretty much English. I'm his interpreter.
Okay, we're
I just want
not,
to say we present.
okay, thank you. Okay, and anybody here for Malagon Restaurant? We'll come back to Malagon. The second item is a petition for transfer of license and pledge of license from TNM Enterprises Inc. to NIV Corporation DBA Win Liquors located at 1038 Wilbraham Road. Samir Patel, manager of record.
Yes, my name is Samir Patel. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Attorney John Moradian, Democracy Law Offices. Here on behalf of the applicant. This was continued from last meeting about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'll explain the transaction and take any questions the board will have. NIV Corporation is buying the package store known as Win Liquors at 1038 Wilbraham Road in Springfield. It's a change
Attorney
of
Meridian,
ownership.
can I stop you for a second?
Yep.
This was continued because the pledge was not on our agenda. There's a
Right.
pledge, correct? Well,
Yep.
it's not on our agenda again.
It is, it's number 2, Peter.
Yeah, but the pledge isn't on the
Oh, the
agenda.
pledge is not. You're absolutely right.
So this is embarrassing.
I wasn't on the agenda. I see it posted right here.
Yeah, but it doesn't say on the agenda that there's a pledge. There has to be with a pledge too as an agenda item.
Peter, I
Can't
believe
hear
that
that application as presented.
Attorney Poe,
what the agenda says is a petition for transfer of license and pledge of license from TNM Enterprises Inc. to NIV Corporation DBA Win Liquors located at 1038 Wilbraham Road. Samir Patel, manager of record. I'm trying to understand the question that you're saying that it's not on the agenda as
my
Yes, sir.
understanding is, or the rule we have always followed is that it must say pledge to TD Bank or whoever is granting the pledge has to be mentioned in that agenda item. Not just the fact that there's a pledge, but who the pledge is to.
So is that our mistake, Peter? The mistake
Yes.
came from us?
Yes.
Okay.
It's in the application. It should be on the agenda as a pledge to whoever is granting the pledge.
What
So
it's worth, the pledge does not need to be advertised in the paper. I think.
I
the board
understand
can
that,
hear it.
but it has to be a public notice in our agenda item is is the rule we followed for 20 years. Unless that Attorney Poe knows that there's a change to that by the ABCC, that is the rule we have always followed. So unless there is some sort of rule change, I would recommend that we continue this, but it's unfair to the licensee to continue this for another 2 weeks. So if we can get this agenda item advertised for, posted for tomorrow, I would ask at least two other commissioners to appear at Attorney Meridian's convenience Monday at the earliest. Attorney Poe, do you have a suggestion?
If we can get it posted, I will double check. Like I said, I did review this agenda with Attorney Days and with Anna from the office, but I am not aware of any change in our policy. So if this is so I will look into that. But if we could get it done and we have commissioners who are willing to do that, I would. We can.
I'm available.
I'm available as well.
This will take 5 minutes. Attorney Meridian, are you available?
What day were you thinking? What time?
I believe if we post it by 5:30 tomorrow, which is Thursday, the 11th, we would be able to hear it on Monday, the 15th. Has to be 48 business hours, I believe.
Monday, the 15th at 5:30?
Yes. Attorney Poe, you agree with that?
We can do that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Samir, are you available Monday at 5:30?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Okay.
So Peter, would you like to make that motion?
So I will make a motion to continue this again with one agenda item to be posted for a hearing on Monday, May 15th. And the agenda item will include the party who is granting the pledge. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. We apologize for wasting your time yet again,
I'll see
but
you Monday
Monday,
evening. Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, good night. The third petition is petition for a new license for Mexico LLC DBA Mexico Restaurant located at 1021 Main Street. Anastasia Chirico Lozano, manager of record. Someone here for Mexico?
Yes, myself, Lisa Tots, and Emma Thibault, the owner.
Yes, I'm sorry. Anastasia is trying to get in, but I don't know what's going on with her phone.
Okay. Well, you have the floor, Lisa Tutts, right?
Yes. We have never done this before, so I'll look for guidance and answer the questions as they come.
Okay, so what is Mexico proposing?
A full liquor license for a restaurant with hours of 10:30 to 8 Sunday through Thursday and 10:30 to midnight on Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday?
Yes,
And then Sunday to Wednesday, 10:30 to 8 p.m.?
yes.
Okay. Okay. Being the, okay, so being that this is your first time we do ask that everyone is, usually people will come in and give us a presentation on, what it is that there's a restaurant is going to be like. Is there going to be any entertainment, any live entertainment, any music, types of food? Is it, just to go? Is it a sit-in? What is the plan? What is the idea for the restaurant?
Sure. So it is a lunch and dinner restaurant with table service, buffet and steam table, and takeout with a bar that should have 4 to 5 seats at the bar. We have a full Mexican and Puerto Rican menu with sandwiches and dinners. And I said the steam table, which would have hot meals available for lunch and dinner service.
Okay. How many employees are going to be serving alcohol?
That would be determined as the necessity dictates, of course, but at the same time, there would be at least one person at all times being responsible for the bar.
Okay, and the wait staff, they're obviously going to be serving, taking orders and serving. How many wait staff are going to be there?
Depending upon the busyness of the restaurant, will vary, but at least 2 on staff would be there during the day and the evening until we get up and running and decide, because we may just open with the steam table to start, see if we get growth, and then we'll add staff as needed.
Okay. Is Anastasia on? Was she able to?
I don't see her yet.
Okay.
She's been texting me that she had trouble with her laptop and she's trying to download the app on her phone.
Okay, it is very important that we speak to Anastasia, as we will want to know what her experience is as a manager of record. And some of the questions that we have will probably be answered by Miss Anastasia.
I can try to call her on a video camera here and then you can talk to her because she's, I don't know.
In the past, we've asked that the person is on video. I don't know how the rest of the commissioners
I mean, it will be
feel.
on video, but through my phone, because let me see if I can get a hold.
I'll say that Emma has experience as a manager of record, as she's held a license
No
at another
puedo
restaurant.
bajarlo. Pues llámame por cámara porque para yo enseñarla con la cámara. Que yo
I tried
necesito-
to mute her, but I can't mute. I don't have my normal privileges.
So Mexico is open somewhere else in Springfield right now, right?
We've actually closed for this transition, and we gave up our lease on Hancock Street. We've been in business for 4 years without a liquor license. We had applied in the past, and the reason why we did not receive it was the church across the street on Hancock Street was unwilling. And so we are now at a new location at 1021 Main, Union and Main. And Anastasia will be the manager of record, but she's working in the restaurant 60 hours a week as she's been in the business for the last 4 years. But adding in the liquor is a new thing for Anastasia and Emma, but Emma has the experience of being a manager of record before.
Anastasia's working in what restaurant?
In Mexico, she's been part of the business for the last 4 years since
Okay.
opening.
There's another business in East Hampton, is that right?
That is the business that Emma has been the manager of record, so it's unrelated to this business.
Oh, but does Anastasia work there as well or no?
No,
No, she's just Springfield.
correct.
Okay, so if the commissioners recall, one of the issues we had previously when they wanted to be licensed was that Emma wanted to be the manager of record here, and she was already the manager of record in East Hampton. And so we needed a different person to be the manager of record in one of those locations. And Anastasia is Emma's daughter, correct?
She is not the daughter, she is the significant other of her daughter.
Oh, all right, okay. And so she's going to take over Springfield, and Emma will be the manager of record continuing in East Hampton.
We are in the middle of trying to get that taken care of and removed on that end, but yeah, Anastasia's logging on now. I can see the connecting the audio
Look at
to
that.
update. So regarding the menu, it would be dinners as well as platters, appetizers, so full service, and we would be serving food. The kitchen would be open the whole time that the bar is open, so that it is not just limited to having bar time and no food. The kitchen is open while the bar is open.
When you mentioned this steam table, what does that mean? Is that a buffet?
It's served by the staff. It's
Oh.
not a buffet. It's that you come up and say, I would like pernil and arroz con gandules, and we make you a platter and we serve you.
Okay, all right.
Anastasia, can you hear? Okay, I think you're muted though. We don't hear you.
Has Anastasia been working the 60 hours at the Hancock location?
Yes, sir.
Anastasia, you're muted.
She just got
You
it.
guys hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Hello.
Hi.
Anastasia, can you talk to us a little bit about your experience as a manager of record?
Talk about, I'm sorry, you guys broke up a little bit.
Your experience as a manager of record, as a manager of a license, a liquor license.
Have you ever been oh, she's frozen.
Anastasia, if you turn off your video, you might get better bandwidth and we might hear you. Can you hear us?
Hi, I'm back. I don't know, it disconnected.
We have to have her face on video.
Well, it's okay now. If she needs to shut off her video, it'll be fine.
If you turn off your video, you might get better bandwidth and you won't have as much interruption on the audio.
Oh, perfect. Okay, let's try that.
Okay. Can you talk to us? Can you tell us about your experience as a manager of record?
So for the Mexico, the first Mexico, I've been manager there for about 3 years. I've been one of the only managers there. I've been helping with the workers and what they have to do, keeping everybody on track, scheduling certain files, anything Emma really needed me to help with, replying to emails.
May I interject? The definition of the manager of record is to be responsible for the training and the adherence to the bylaws and the dictates of the Liquor Commission to make sure that we know what we're doing with the liquor and how you're going to handle that. And the question is more, what's your experience handling a liquor license? And if it's none, then just say that we haven't had one yet. And that's acceptable, but they just were trying to see.
Oh, no. So if pertaining to the liquor license, no, I have not been a manager yet.
But do you understand that what it means is that you're going to be responsible for the training? You're going to make sure that you're checking IDs, that we're not over serving, that we understand the responsibilities and the regulations that come along with the role of being the manager of record, because your job is to enforce that for your employees and for all staff members. And if somebody comes in and does a surprise inspection and we didn't card somebody, that you're held responsible for that.
Yes, I understand and I'm fully comfortable with doing that. I have the tip certification, so I have some knowledge on what is needed and what are things that can't be done, and I will be able to help in whatever way I can and have to.
How many hours are you planning to be at this location?
We're aiming for 40 hours a week.
Okay.
Or more if needed.
So you'll be there from opening to close?
Most likely, yes.
Every day?
Correct.
Okay. Now, do you know how many employees you're going to have?
I believe 7 is what we're working with now in the ballpark that we're in right now. There could be more.
Okay, and are they all tip certified?
We're in the process of completing all of them, but few are and few aren't yet.
Okay, and how many of the 7 do you think will be serving alcohol?
I believe 3:
3.
server, bartender, and a third. I believe me would most definitely.
Okay, so you feel comfortable that 1 server will be enough for the restaurant?
I believe it's gonna be something that we're gonna have to feel out and see it, if we will need more, but I know we are going to be starting with 1 server.
Okay. Okay, any questions from the commissioners?
Anastasia, are you tip certified?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So all new employees will be tip certified, correct?
Correct.
And you're gonna keep a copy of their certificate on hand in case there's usually in a restaurant, it's an over-serving
Yeah.
violation. So we're gonna want to see their current certificate if there is an unfortunate incident of over-serving or any other violation. So you're gonna just keep those in a file and make sure that they're renewed when they should be renewed.
Alrighty then.
And where do you live?
I live in Springfield.
Okay. So you understand that this is a new responsibility for you, a much bigger responsibility than managing the restaurant. Now you're the manager of record. So you are answerable to this commission if there is a violation. Do you understand and accept that level of responsibility?
Yes, I understand. I accept.
Okay.
So basically, if anything happens in the restaurant, whether you were the one to serve or not, you will be the person that will answer to this board.
Yes, I
Okay.
understand.
Okay, and just so that you know, if there's ever a situation inside your restaurant that you feel you need to call the police for, we suggest that you do. If you're not going to be at the restaurant, for example, if you're going on vacation and you're leaving someone else in charge, we suggest that you call our office and let us know that you'll be out of town or on vacation and who's going to be taking your place during that time.
Okay, noted. That's good to know.
Okay.
When do you expect to open?
We're aiming for June 1st right now.
Oh, good.
Okay. Any other questions?
Well, I thought you asked Rosa about entertainment, but I didn't hear an answer. Is there?
Oh, right. So Anastasia, what do you know are you gonna have entertainment? Are you gonna have live music? Is it just gonna be overhead music? What are you planning?
So at the moment we do have TVs that we're gonna be setting up. One of our goals was to have little entertainment, like light music. One of our goals more in the future is some live music, but I don't think that's what we're mainly focused on right now. I feel like there will be entertainment and music, but not right away. And one thing we really are excited for to incorporate like the Mexican culture is like mariachis maybe going around, and
Wow.
that hasn't been our main focus right now, but it is something that we do look forward to and aim to do.
So you need an entertainment license, right? For that?
Yes.
I'm aware that we need that. Yep.
Okay.
And Anastasia, I just want to say that always keep in mind that there's a lot of underage people trying to get into different places and try to purchase drinks without the correct ID. Always make sure to check that ID, and whenever you're in doubt, just don't serve.
Don't serve.
Yes. Yes, I agree completely. I have a lot of younger, I am an aunt, so I understand that completely. They're always trying to get into things they're not supposed to. I will definitely pay extra close attention, and as you said, if it's iffy or something that I'm not completely comfortable with doing, I will not do that.
Good. Good. Any other questions from the commissioners?
Just as a point of clarification, the hours were like 8 to on certain nights and midnight on other nights. Generally, what we would do is approve the license to midnight every night, just to make it easier for the police. So they know, they don't have to remember, well, what time, what night is Mexi Rico open till what time, and Cinco de Mayo falls on one of your 8 o'clock nights and you want to be open till midnight, you wouldn't have to worry about it, right? So I would make that recommendation that the closing time be uniformly midnight.
Okay, yeah.
In respect to the liquor commission, not in respect to us keeping the business open. It's just that if we chose to stay open late on an occasion, do we need to notify you if we're going to stay open late, even though our hours are published?
If you're staying open later than your licensed hours, then that's an issue.
No, but I mean, if it's Sunday through Thursday, and like you said, Cinco de Mayo was Friday this year, that was convenient. But if it was a Sunday or a Monday, would we have to let you know in advance?
Well, we're discussing making your hours midnight. If you want to be open later than midnight, that's a different discussion, but if we make it, you're open 7 days a week, is that right?
At this point, that's our projections, yes.
All right, so I would say every day till midnight.
Okay.
Okay. Would you like to make that motion, Peter?
I make a motion to approve petition for a new all alcohol. This is all alcohol, correct?
Yes.
For a new all
Yes.
alcohol restaurant license for Mexi Rico LLC, DBA Mexi Rico, located at 1021 Main Street. Manager of record Anastasia Chorizo Lozano. And the hours are 10 a.m.
10:30.
10:30.
10:30 a.m. to midnight, Saturday through Sunday. Sunday through Saturday, 7 days a week. Do I hear a second?
Second, Pete.
Okay. Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Okay, good luck.
Lisa, I just want to say, I think you're doing an excellent job representing your client.
I appreciate you very much. Thank you for saying that.
You're welcome.
If you know anybody that needs my help, you know where to find me.
Sure do.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And hopefully we're going to
Thank
make
you.
everybody proud and have you guys down for dinner soon.
Soon.
So,
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good
luck.
night.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go back to, I see Malecon is on, so, who's here for Malecon? Okay, anybody else for Malecon?
Hi, my name is Dominga.
Dominga. Okay,
I'm here,
Dominga.
Genesis.
Okay, so this is a petition for a change of manager for Samaya Restaurant Inc., DBA Malecon Restaurant located at 137 Chestnut Street from Genesis Pujo to Dominga Pujo's manager of record.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Why are you looking to go back to Miss Dominga?
She will be there most of the time. I mean, she will be there 100% of the time, and I won't be able to.
Okay. My concern, Genesis, is that if you remember that when Dominga was the manager of record back a few years ago, there were a lot of issues, a lot of concerns. There was a lot going on. And this is why it was agreed to, to have you come in and be the manager of record.
Yeah.
So, it's still, it is a concern. Because, like I said, there was a lot going on during that time and it didn't seem like, your mom was able to, to control what was going on at the restaurant?
So she will have somebody like helping her out. Her main problem was basically the English, you know. I am trying to go into business somewhere else and eventually be the manager in that place. So that's why we're trying to put her on to be the manager back in Malecon. And she's there the whole time that we're in service.
But you do realize that it wasn't just the language barrier. It
Yes.
was the poor choices, poor decision making, pretty much not running. Pretty much it wasn't the manager of records. Someone else was pretty much making decisions for her. So, again, this is a concern for me, given that history. I don't know if any of the commissioners have any questions or share the same concern that I do. No. Okay. So you're saying that Ms. Dominga will be there 100% of the time?
Yes, she will always be there.
Okay. Ms. Dominga, what do you see changing? What's going to be different from a few years ago to today, to now?
Que va a ser diferente de los años anteriores ahora, porque ella dice que hubo muchos problemas con el tabla de maní. ¿Qué va a ser diferente? ¿Qué va a ser la diferencia? ¿Cómo tú vas a trabajar?
Dile que yo voy a poner mi esposo para que me traduzca. My husband traducir.
She's gonna
My
have her
father is
husband.
translating for her. Que ya yo tengo más experiencia.
Okay, she said she has now more experience, that she's going to be able to handle the situation better.
My experience.
Any questions from the commissioners?
Just a question. She indicated more experience. She's been the manager of record. I know previously way back, but when she said now she has more experience, what does she mean by that? Has she been doing something previously, like recently, that she has more experience?
I guess the mistakes that we have faced before, we have learned from them. So now we know the things we're not supposed to allow or do, so we can keep the business running.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
My concern is, Genesis, that this is your answer, not Dominga's
Sorry.
answer, and if she is going to be in charge, then she should be the one telling us what she is going to do different this time. Again, there was a lot before. It was, the hookah, the overcapacity, it was the music, it was leaving the state and not letting us know, leaving the state, leaving someone else in charge, leaving early because it was too much for her at that time. And, she did say she couldn't be there 100% of the time because it was too much. And she was leaving early and leaving someone else in charge. What is the difference now?
Okay, let me explain to her what you said. Ella dice que cuál va a ser la diferencia, que tú anterior tenías que irte antes de tiempo y que era demasiado para ti, que ha cambiado, que tú vas a ser diferente.
Que yo estoy abriendo ahora en menos horas.
Okay, she said that she's been opening less hours, that she's been there for the past, since, the thing was closed and open up again, and ever since it hasn't been any issue or any problem.
Que estamos abriendo de las 3 hasta las 12.
Yeah, that she's open up from 3 to 12. That's the hours she's opening now.
So 3 p.m. to midnight?
Yeah.
Okay, what is your plan for when you have to leave the state?
What was the question? Sorry again? What's the plans?
Right, what would her plan be? If once again she has to leave
What-
the state, or she's gonna be out?
Si tú planeas salir por alguna razón o va a estar fuera, ¿cuáles son los planes? ¿A quién tú vas a poner?
Bueno, yo pondría a mi hermana en caso de que yo fuera a salir.
In any
Yo-
case that she will go out, she will have her sister that she will go in charge. That is there now, actually.
Okay, does your sister have any experience running a restaurant?
Si tu
A
hermana tiene
restaurant
alguna
with a
experiencia.
liquor
Sí,
license?
ella trabaja conmigo.
Yeah, she's working with her at the
Do you have
moment.
any? Okay,
Who is gonna be in charge when she's
Her-
not there?
her
Her-
sister.
Her sister.
You know, the answer, I think, would have been first, before she let know that she would contact the commission first to let the commission know that her sister would be in charge. Yeah, that would be the first priority.
Right.
Does her sister have any type of experience of assisting or running an establishment of this magnitude?
Si tu hermana tiene alguna experiencia para coger un establecimiento de esa categoría. Yes, she answered.
She has experience
Yes, that's what she says.
with a licensed restaurant, a restaurant that sells liquor?
Si tiene licencia para un restaurante que tiene licencia para.
¿Para quién
licor.
ella?
Sí.
No, ella tenía un negocio aquí en Santo Domingo,
She had a business back in her country. She has experience.
pero allá no.
Dealing in a restaurant. But she
Pero
doesn't.
ella tiene experiencia de aquí.
She has experience from her country.
Okay, it sounds like you're in Santo Domingo right now.
Yeah,
Ujú.
yeah.
When do you plan on being back?
Next week.
Okay, any other questions from the commissioners?
Domingo, what are the Genesis, what are the hours now? Till midnight, you said?
Yes,
So you close every day at midnight?
yes, we do. So we're opening Friday through Sunday, 3 p.m. till 12.
Peter, that was one of the conditions when they reopened.
Okay.
It was until midnight, if I remember correctly. Okay.
Dame teléfono.
Is there a motion?
No, not yet. I just want to get back to something. Wasn't it recently, I want to say 6-8 months ago, we had a noise complaint coming out of there?
Several.
I believe so.
Mm-hmm. All right,
But we haven't had a noise complaint in a while though, but.
right. We
There
have
were
come
complaints,
in.
yes.
It was a
Is
noise
there still live
complaint.
music?
It was a noise complaint. I'm sorry, Commissioner.
s- Yeah, I'm sorry. Is there still entertainment coming from Melicon?
Yes, we still have entertainment.
Barry, do
there-
you have anything?
There have not been any noise complaints that I'm aware of this year. So I don't recall the last one, but I know this year there have been no noise complaints, at least that I'm aware of. I know the people on Mattoon Street would reach out to me before. I haven't gotten those phone calls.
I just recall seeing body cam footage of a noise complaint not too long ago. I don't think it was the last 4 months. I think it was more towards fall time. Am I correct? Does anyone?
Yeah.
I recall that as well.
Right, that was the last one that was coming from Mattoon Street.
It was
Right.
soon after the license was reinstated.
Okay.
Might have been about a year ago. I believe the female officer testified at that hearing. There was actually a full And there was body camera footage, you're correct.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
I
just want-
received an email from the Armored Quadrangle Civic Association expressing concerns over the fact that the manager was being changed without an entertainment license hearing on the violations on the entertainment license, which of course is not our purview. So I said, well, you know, I can't address that. I can't address this hearing that you're expecting to have on the entertainment license. Have there been any disturbances or complaints? And the response was no. So I'm not sure what to make of that email.
Okay,
Genesis wants to get out because she wants her own place. And the answer seems to be to put Dominga back in charge. And we've had problems with that before, so it just doesn't make sense to me.
I certainly don't want to take a step backwards either.
Hmm.
They've done well. I don't want to see them regress either.
Is there anybody else, Genesis, that you could think of that may be a better candidate?
I think I do have somebody. She's the one working as a bartender right now. So she's gonna be there. Well, she's already there the whole weekend until closing. So we could probably use her for manager.
Do you think that's a conversation that maybe you can have with this person and, you know, maybe come back?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And
yeah.
anything from the commissioners?
It seems like a bartender, maybe Dominga is a good cook and she's busy in the kitchen and not really aware of what's going on out in the restaurant. And a bartender being out there serving customers would be the more likely candidate if that person is responsible than someone who's making fabulous food in the kitchen. So
Definitely, yeah, I agree.
I would not be in favor of reappointing Dominga. I would recommend you rethink this and see if the bartender would be willing to become the manager of record. That would be my
Okay.
suggestion.
Ms. Pujols, how long has your bartender been employed by you?
She's been there for about 3 months now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does she have experience prior to that?
Yes, she does.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? So you feel comfortable if we go ahead and continue this petition to give you time to speak to the bartender and see if that's a responsibility she's willing to take on?
Yeah.
Okay, how long do you think you'll need? Do you think you'll be ready for the next meeting on the 24th, or do you want it for our June meeting, our first meeting in June?
You could put it for the 24th.
For the 24th?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So I make a motion that we continue the petition for a change of manager for Samaya Restaurant, DBA Malecon Restaurant located at 137 Chestnut Street, from Genesis Pujol, well, to give you the opportunity to find someone else.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Okay, thank you so much. And again, we just want to make sure that you're successful and that you're not regressing.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, the next item is an informational hearing for Los Muchachos Bar and Restaurant LLC, DBA Los Muchachos Bar and Restaurant located at 436 Boston Road, Suite B, Darlene Soriano, Manager of Record. And it is a hosting an event with no license. Attorney Paul.
So this is, I thought Darlin was on here at some point. There he is. Darlin is. So this is related to an event. I believe it's in your packet. We did issue a cease and desist letter on April, excuse me.
Darlene, can you please turn your camera on?
So we did issue a cease and desist letter with regards to this operation, and we have been trying to get them in compliance because they have been operating without a license. So this is the basis. This is the basis. This is the basis of the information hearing today.
Okay.
Oh, hello.
Okay. Oh, he said to repeat.
Oh yeah, no, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. How you doing? The thing is, Darling doesn't speak English very well, so I'm his friend when I can translate everything he says. But I believe I understood everything you guys says. We are hearing for our basis the Los Muchachos 436 Belmont Boston Road, I believe.
Right. Right. Attorney Poe did state some of the concerns, and I think that's the part that you didn't hear. So Attorney Poe, if you wanna repeat yourself so that he can translate for Darlene.
So in essence, the issue here is that they have been hosting events without a license, and that there's improper or no license for the operation at that business. So the informational hearing is to get some more information about exactly what's going on with their business.
So, okay, I do understand because I was. Entonces yo estoy diciendo que ellos quieren información que fue lo que pasó sobre los eventos que hemos estado haciendo sin licencia.
Tú le dices que nosotros tenemos la licencia, que no, nosotros todavía no hemos abierto oficialmente, pero que nosotros estábamos haciendo el sábado 22, estuvimos viendo el evento de la pelea con los amigos nosotros, la familia, pero que nosotros tenemos la licencia del envío, del que tú entras la bebida, así. Y por eso ahí fue que hicimos ese evento con la licencia esa de descorcho, llamo al bio.
So we haven't opened it officially. The event that we did, I believe Saturday 20, that was the day of the situation, is that we opened just for family and friends because of the day of the fight, the boxing fight, if you guys remember. We do have the license for the court. I don't know exactly wasn't exactly the name of it, but it's the one that the customer can bring their own alcohol. We're selling it.
Dile que nosotros no estamos vendiendo alcohol, que nosotros estamos con esa licencia que la gente puede entrar su alcohol y le cobramos 25 pesos, pero que lo que está dando era compartiendo en familia.
So,
que no era un evento para público, para todo el público.
So the event wasn't for the public, it only was for family and friends. We were not selling alcohol. We were charging everybody who come in with their drink, we were charging them because that's the license that we allow for. We were not open officially. We were just something for us just to watch a boxing fight at that night.
Que estaban viendo la pelea, los amigos míos. Eso fue.
Yes.
So can I ask a question? The night that you are referring to, were you using your 1-day license or were you using your BYOB license?
La noche que abrimos para la pelea, ¿estaban usando la licencia de un día o la de BYOB?
No, estaban usando la licencia la del BYOB, esa es la del vino, pregúntale.
Just to confirm, boss, the BYOB, that's the license for the wine and beer?
Well, no.
No.
I'm trying to figure out
El
which
BOB, esa es la que están usando, que la gente entra, puede llevar su alcohol. Eso es la que teníamos.
Okay, so that's what we wanted to understand the difference between one to another. So we were using the BYOB, the one that we can allow people to come in with their drink and we charge them, even though they were only friends and family.
what were you charging them for?
I believe the license allow us to, the people can bring their own drinks and we charge them to allow them to bring their drink. Because as you know, we don't have the license to sell them, so we allow them to bring them.
Or are you serving food?
No, dile si nosotros tenemos comida también, pero que oficialmente vamos a abrir el restaurante ya esta semana con los menús.
So we will be serving food. At that time, we were
Ese
not.
día cocinamos ahí, tú le dices.
We'll be serving food. We were cooking and everything. But because we were now officially open, we don't have a menu and everything at the time. This week we're gonna be having no problem.
Yo que no tenemos un cucao con la familia, pues los amigos. Están viendo la pelea del boxing.
Yeah. So as I said again, we were watching the fight. People were bringing the drinks, and we were cooking just for not for the public, for us ourselves.
How many people, how many family members would you say you had there on that day?
Como 12 personas. Estaban viendo la pelea.
Como cuántos familiares habían allá?
Oh, como 12. Habían como 12 entre familiares y amigos.
Like 12 to 15 people.
Okay, I am a little confused because that's not what I read on the report.
No.
I don't know about anyone else, commissioners, but I believe Barry, I believe there were more than 12 people there on that particular day.
Family members, as you know, like there were between 12 and 15 friends. There were more people than that. But you specifically asked for family or in total family and friends?
I believe the
I
question.
think-
You don't mind me asking, I'm sorry.
I think you understood the question clearly when we first asked the question. My question was how many people were there on that day? How many family, because he's saying it was just for family. So
family
how many people were there? Because we know that it was more than 12.
Habían como más de, entre todos, habían como más de algunos, creo como 15 personas por ahí esa noche.
Yeah, around more than 15 or more than 15
Yeah,
people.
dile que no-
In total for everything, it was more than 15 people.
Yeah, pues no, esa noche no había mucha gente, como, no llevamos 15 personas. Fíjate.
Barry?
Like you said, yes.
Barry, there were about 15 people at the establishment.
15 and a little bit more than that. Yes, sir. Yes,
So-
ma'am, sorry.
Okay. Am I good to talk?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. I interrupted again. So when the officers responded, I watched the body worn camera footage. That call was at like 1:40 a.m. And by the time the officers went in there, it was 1:54, roughly, almost 2 a.m. And at that point, I would say there were at least 15 people still inside, but that's at the end of the night. The officer that I spoke to indicated the night before. So this wasn't a one night thing for a boxing thing, because the night before they had another event. They actually applied for a grand opening event for the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. One day application. That was not approved due to a concern over the capacity there. Then, of course, this incident happened. They had no license. I was told they had applied for BYOB. I mean, it's clear from our conversation so far that they don't understand how BYOB works, because the prerequisite there obviously is you're seated at a table with food and you can't charge someone to bring in a bottle. And that's in essence, they're operating using a BYOB license, but not following any of the guidelines that are established in the rules and regulations for BYOB.
Would you like to translate that? So, Darlene?
Ah,
¿Qué yo dice?
pero ella me está diciendo que él lo vio primeramente, él vio la cámara de seguridad de la policía, la cual él vio los eventos que hicimos, él ya tiene el sistema, él vio los ejemplos que tú aplicaste por un permiso para abrir el Grand Opening el 21, 22, 23.
Sí, pues.
No te lo permitieron. Y
Sí.
me están diciendo también que la licencia, la BYOB, no estamos usándola correctamente porque dice que esa no es la que puede traer alcohol, sino la de servir comida.
Oh, yo apliqué fue para la de que puedan llevar el alcohol.
Y él está diciendo que esa de que no se la
No, what he said, I'm sorry, what he said was that with the BYOB, you have to have food. You have to have served food. There has to be food on the table.
que la licencia BYOB es la que te permite, bueno, tienes que tener comida en la mesa. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And you cannot charge. You cannot charge your patrons if they're BYOB. That's the point in BYOB.
And from the guidelines before that, we had the only thing you could charge for is a setup, which ice and cup and soda or something like that for a setup.
I believe it's a corking. We're allowed to,
Yeah, corking.
for a cork, but that's for a bottle of wine. That's it.
Porque tú tienes la licencia porque el BYOB es para tener comida en la mesa. ¿Cuál es la licencia que tienes?
Yo fui, esa fue la que me dieron que yo solicité para que la gente hagan el descorche, como que puedan llevar su bebida. Esa fue la que yo solicité.
¿Y tú lo tienes?
Sí.
So he's telling me, I believe the word that you guys say is corking. That in Spanish I see is the corche. That's the one that allows you to bring the drink. You said the bottle.
That is for wine.
Yeah, I think what's going on, he's
Give me 1 second.
misunderstanding the
Pues
rules
puede
of
salir ahí.
the situation.
Para entrar a la foto. Vamos a entrar aquí a la foto. ¿Está ahí en la línea?
Hello.
Could I ask what the charge was and how you decided on that charge?
Mira, ese que no tenemos, léela bien, a ver qué dice.
Ese es el BYOB.
Sí.
Eso es lo que estoy diciendo. I'm sorry, I'm just going to explain him. The BYOB es la que te permite tener comida. The license grant accept the express condition that is respect, conforme the provision messages. Y es la que te permite tener comida.
Okay, I don't think you guys quite understand what the rules and regulations are of having a BYOB. And I think that's a big problem. I think that you should go back to reading what it is, because you know, right now you're not sure what you applied for. Okay. If you are serving, you're requesting a license for a restaurant, you have to have food. It's not just because I have a BYOB, then they can bring their liquor and I don't have to have food on the table. Yes, you do have to have food. So when someone comes in and they bring their bottle of wine, they still have to order food in order to have that bottle of wine on that table. So I don't think that you guys took the time to read what the rules and the regulations are for this license.
Are the rules and regulations given to them when they fill out the application, Madam Chair?
It always is. I think we.
Okay, so well, there's no excuse then.
Right.
Yo estoy diciendo que nosotros no consideramos ni leímos la correcta instrucción de la licencia, la de BYOB, que es la que estamos justificando para hacer el evento. Simplemente diciendo que nosotros no leímos ni la instrucción correctamente para justificar esta licencia al día del incidente.
Pero eso fue cuando yo fui allá, esa fue la que me dijeron que yo apliqué para esa. Yo pensé que tú le dices que era el tipo de licencia que la gente podía traer su paro.
So he's telling me that everyone,
Dile que si no sabíamos que para esa fue que aplicamos.
when he went to the office to apply for the permit and he explained the situation that we were gonna have, apparently that was the one that he got recommended to. That's why he applied for that one.
Right, and he's absolutely correct. If he inquired about that particular license, he's correct. They gave him the correct packet. However, you didn't read the packet to see that in order for that to happen, you still have to have food. You still have to sell food. It's not just allowing them because you have a BYOB that I can walk into your establishment with a bottle and sit there and drink my bottle. You're still responsible for serving food.
Okay, if you allow me to ask him a question real quick, tú tienes una licencia, la de BYOB, se sabe que es la de la comida. Tú también tienes la de coche.
No, déjame ver la otra licencia que yo tengo aquí.
Ellos pueden ver más. Ya para abajo.
La que yo tengo son esas, yo creo que sí.
License,
¿De qué dice?
entretenimiento.
Sí.
No, no tiene nada que ver. I'm sorry, guys. I will just check the licenses that we have available because they got a picture of each one of them. I will just verifying which one we have available, but I'm sorry.
I have a question.
Que nosotros será que pensamos que.
Oh, ella tiene una pregunta. Yes, what's your question, ma'am?
Are you, what is the plan? Are you applying for eventually gonna run this establishment as a restaurant or a nightclub? What is your plan?
So,
Para restaurante.
Entonces, ¿cuál es su plan? Eventualmente para correrlo como restaurante o como discoteca?
Como restaurante, como un bar,
Igual.
restaurante.
So,
no como discoteca, no como club.
not like a club, restaurant and bar.
Okay,
To be,
and
sorry.
go ahead.
Oh, well, to be more specific, it will be a place where you're gonna be able to go eat, and at the same time, if you want to have a drink, you're gonna be able to drink because the bar is getting set up for that. It's a restaurant bar, nothing disco style.
Any questions from the commissioners?
Well, so the goal is to have a liquor license and serve your own liquor?
Can I translate?
Yeah.
El goal tuyo es para tener una licencia de venta de licor y venderlo.
Eso es lo que yo quiero hacer.
Sí.
Sí, dile que yo estoy, ya yo estoy comenzando ese proceso de tener hacer la licencia, hacer el traspaso para yo tener el año de que la gente pueda comer todo el año y si se pueden tomar su cerveza o vino o algo en el restaurante.
So yes, boss, sir, that will be the goal, to get the liquor license to be able to sell it for the people that if they don't want to eat, they can drink also at the bar.
Even at the bar, and commissioners, correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's a restaurant, we still have to serve food.
Yes, restaurants serve food, yes.
So even if someone came in and they don't want to eat, they just want to drink, they still have to eat. They still have to order
So
food.
that, I'm sorry, because I'm new at it, so just to confirm, even though if the customer wants to drink, they will have to buy food to be able to get the drink?
No, tener bar, que nosotros lo que queremos es abrir el restaurante y ya una hora como de las 10 de la noche, queremos hacer como un bar, un pequeño bar.
Okay, so he's telling me that, as you know, we're gonna be the goal is to open a restaurant bar, even though it will be two different schedule. one schedule gonna be for the restaurant when people gonna be able to go eat and everything, and after the restaurant is closed, the bar will be opening for customers who don't only want to drink. That will be the goal.
That's not how it works.
No.
That's not how it works.
Okay, so as we don't know how it works, we would like to get us like what will be the process that we have to do if it's possible to do or not.
I think the first thing you have to do is pick up that application, the packet, and read and study what the rules and regulations are. You know, they're not our rules, they're the state. We don't make this up. You
Well, we
understand?
do have our own like BYOB rules,
Right.
which clearly have not been read.
Right. So that is my suggestion, to go back and read it and study it. If you have questions, reach out to someone that may be able to help you with those questions. But right now, I don't know about the other commissioners, but right now, to me, it seems like you guys don't know what you're planning to do. You know, you're not sure what one license is, you know, what's the difference between one permit and the other, or one license and the other. I myself feel that, you know, you came into this place and decided to make your own rules, and, you know, operate without the correct license. You are telling me that you had an event for the fight, for the boxing match that day, but, you know, there is record from the police that you guys were open the night before as well. We have gentlemen's night here. So there's a
I'm sorry.
lot. Go ahead.
I didn't want to interrupt. I'm sorry. He's asking that. I do know the answer, but I just want to translate that. It's so. May I translate what you said?
Go ahead. Yes.
Ella está diciendo, ¿tú te acuerdas lo que la policía nos enseñó de que supuestamente el stripper night? Eso ella dice que estaba, que eso era un evento programado, pero tú me dijiste que tú nunca autorizaste por
Sí,
eso.
explícale, dile que a mí varias gente me habían preguntado por eso. Y yo le decía que no, porque eso no era en mi negocio, que yo no hago ese tipo de eventos. ¿Cómo yo voy a hacer un tipo de evento así, donde pueda perjudicarme a mí? Y cuando tú le dices que tú estabas ahí, cuando el policía nos preguntó, que nosotros dimos bien claro que nosotros no teníamos ese evento, pero que sí nos habían dado esa noticia, y a mí me habían preguntado sobre eso, gente, y yo le decía que no. Y sobre lo de que también a mí me habían gente para cumpleaños han venido ante mí para como hacer algo o privado, Iván, y yo le decía que no, que todavía yo no estaba listo para ese tipo de actividad, que todavía yo no estaba ready para abrir el negocio, y que eso no era de nosotros, que nosotros no tenemos ningún tipo de esa actividad, que nosotros se lo dimos al policía adelante recuerda cuando el policía nos preguntó que nosotros no tenemos ese tipo de eventos, que yo sé que esos eventos son ilegales. ¿Cómo nosotros vamos a hacer eso?
So about the gentleman's night, we were present where the police came up with that? Well, not came up. They told us about it. He, as the owner, before the police told him, but some people were telling him about the gentleman's night where he never authorized him, knowing that he didn't have the license or the permission to be able to do that.
Y que eso es ilegal, que eso yo nunca voy a hacer eso en un negocio, yo se me va a perjudicar mi negocio. ¿Cómo yo voy a hacer un evento así?
We know that's illegal, so we do not know who came up with that idea or that authorization, but him as being the owner of the business, he never gave authorization.
A nadie, que yo no dije a nadie que iba a hacer un evento así. Yo no iba a hacer un evento así en el negocio.
For the gentleman's night, the situation, because I did recognize the paper when you showed it to me, and he told me that he never gave authorization to nobody to do no gentleman's night because we didn't know that we didn't have permission for that kind of thing. Or for
¿Quién quiere
anything.
perder su negocio para hacer un evento así?
We don't want to register the
Dile que
business.
nosotros vimos y mucha gente nos preguntaban, pero yo le decía que no, que yo no ni renté mi negocio a nadie, ni autoricé a nadie a hacer como evento así en el negocio. Que yo todavía no estaba todavía ready para yo abrir el negocio y más continuar para hacer un negocio, para hacer una actividad así.
So he didn't give authorization to nobody to open or plan or set a date for that kind of event.
Dile que eso nosotros le dijimos a los policías como 2 semanas antes que nos preguntaron sobre eso. Y a mí preguntaron gente también sobre eso, que si ese evento era en el negocio. Y yo se le decía que no.
So the police came asking him about that event, and he denied because he never got authorization even before that, the day of the fight, because for some
Pero
reason.
dice que nosotros no tenemos ni siquiera idea de ese cuelga, de ese evento, que nosotros no tenemos eso ni en el schedule nosotros ni en nada de nosotros, que nosotros no sabíamos de ese evento, que nosotros no sabemos qué tipo de evento era eso.
Yeah, he didn't give out to him. He didn't get authorization for that kind of event.
Y tú le dices que yo vi el flyer también de eso. En ese flyer ni soy yo, ni está mi número de teléfono, ni está mi dirección, ni está nada de eso. Tú le dices, sí mismo que yo no sé dónde era eso, quién está planeando hacer eso.
So none of the information, personal information to authorize, by him authorize was on the flyer, as you can see.
Tú dices que yo no tengo ni idea de ese evento, ni de quién en ese evento, ni quién iba a hacer ese evento,
Okay,
ni que ese evento en mi establecimiento.
Very. So if I remember, if I read the report, and I know Peter read it as well. If I remember reading that an officer called for the event and was given the address.
They were, so on the flyer, it just says Boston Road. And when you inquired, it gave the address 436 Boston Road. They did talk, I watched the body worn camera, and they did speak with Darlin the night of this call about that event, because they were concerned about it happening. It was supposed to be the following weekend. He told them on camera that the only event he had scheduled was a birthday party, and that this event, so he did officers that he wasn't aware of this promotion, but that he had booked, I believe, a birthday party at the location the following weekend. And to my knowledge, that event never happened. I'm assuming because they were aware that the police knew about it.
How do we make the connection, Barry, between this gentleman's night and this location? It just says Boston Road. I don't see a phone number for info, contact Bubba.
So apparently it was on Facebook and Snapchat. And when you contacted whoever posted it, they provided an address. The officer also told me when I spoke to her, it was the week after this, there was a lot of feedback on there. People were upset because they had already paid and they weren't getting their money back. So obviously there was a promoter involved. That's who posted this, was a promoter. Whether he was aware of it or not, I mean, we can't say for sure. He did tell them that he did not know about it when they confronted him the night of this incident. He denied knowledge of that flyer. The only other thing from the night of this incident was obviously the BYOB rules and regulations totally not being followed, but there was also hookah. The original call was for a female who passed out after smoking hookah, and the hookah is on the floor. He denied there was hookah, but I mean, there wouldn't have been an ambulance call for a female passed out after smoking hookah if there wasn't hookah. They don't have the required Department of Revenue smoking bar permit, so they cannot allow hookah. The other issue was the signage. There's no sign. So they have been issued a restaurant license. And apparently they've been issued a BYOB. Again, I'm not sure how that happened. And, I think that's the issue here is, we really need to address the issuance of the BYOBs. Clearly people don't understand that it's meant you're sitting down, you're not walking around. It's not a club. You're sitting at a table with a meal and a drink. This isn't a free for all walking around with a bottle, drinking. It's sitting at a table, eating and having a drink. That's what that was intended for. And clearly licensees in the city aren't following the rules. There has to be a better way to issue these and enforce it.
Do you know how many there are, Barry?
I don't, because we're not even notified when they're issued. I had no clue. As I said, I received a one-day app for this location, and after discussing it with my bosses, we were not going to approve it. And I checked with the license commission to make sure that they didn't approve it, and they did not. But then I'm told later that he applied for BYOB, and I was given a copy of the application, and the application's not even completely filled out. Like, it asks, is there food service, and there's
No
nothing.
answer.
And yet, they're told they can still have BYOB. There's no scrutiny at this point for these applications like there are for other licensees. And it's not fair. I mean, if you're applying for an all alcohol or beer and wine license, you're required to appear before the board like we did tonight with everyone else. And these should be no different. It's the same exact responsibility. I feel as if they should face the same questions that you ask everyone else. It's especially when the cost is so cheap compared to a liquor license. Why would you not do?
Barry, I will say that under new business, the discussion of the issuance of the BYOB license is on the agenda. The one thing that I think that we should do is we do have the La Mocha's bar and restaurant still here with regards to the informational hearing. Maybe we should deal with this issue so that we can get to a further discussion of the issuances of the BYOB, because I would have some discussion about that process in Section 5 of our regulations.
But in reference to this discussion that we're having now, we're in a informational hearing. Do we move this to a final hearing, or we make some kind of decision now?
I'm confused why this is an informational hearing. They didn't have a license when this violation occurred. Is that why we're hearing this as an informational?
That's correct. They don't have a license either.
Well, they've been issued a common vic and a BYOB.
At the time,
they had.
Yeah,
right.
I would buy a restaurant license, an entertainment license after the fact with the BYOB. So I'm assuming, it's dated the date I asked for it, so I know that's not correct, but that happens every time I ask for a restaurant license. And then the BYOB, again, this application is one page. It's very limited. It has no date on it at all. And so they did have a restaurant license and they had BYOB apparently. That's up to you guys. What you want to do with it, but it's clear they don't understand BYOB. It's very clear. It's clear that there's a lot of other things that they don't understand. Whose fault that is, I don't know.
So again, on the evening of this hookah incident, there were no licenses.
I believe there were.
There were.
The
So
restaurant and the
I was told they had a common vic and entertainment licenses, which are attached to the report. And I was also told they had applied for BYOB. And the way it is now, apparently, if you apply, you get it. You pay for it and it's yours. There's no process or screening.
Okay.
The other issue is that they're a restaurant supposedly, but there's no signs identifying them as a restaurant. Today I went by there. There's still not a sign outside. The only sign there is the old sign for Tim Mateo's, which issue
puede ser
too.
que ya lo del sign y todo eso nosotros lo mandamos a hacer, que por eso que nosotros no hemos abierto oficialmente, porque todavía la persona que lo está haciendo no lo ha puesto y eso, pero ya que esta semana él no entregaba todo eso.
So just to translate his remember that he did understand about your concern about the sign. We have it open officially because we've been waiting for the sign. As you can when you came by, it's a big sign. So we did order like 1, 2 or 2 weeks ago, and we're still waiting for the response of the person that he told us that he was going to be ready by esta semana.
Sí, de ellos me dijeron que o sea, de hoy o mañana lo ponen, ¿no?
The sign was gonna be ready by this weekend.
So Rosa, was your question, someone said, I don't know, maybe Andrew, but are we moving this to a violation hearing? In my opinion, these people have clearly no idea what they're doing, and it's a free-for-all there, and there's gonna be something worse happening unless we take some action on this license.
I agree.
But what actions are we taking on what license? I'm a little bit confused of
Right.
what they have and don't have.
Well, Barry says they had a common vic the night of this hookah party.
They have front license and they have BYOB, which are both issued by the licensing department.
Attorney Poe, what's your recommendation, sir?
Well, this is an informational hearing. I think they provided us with some additional information to try to make a determination as to what happened or what is happening there and what happened that night. I think I know that we have issued a cease and desist, but I think we need to probably, Barry, correct me if I'm wrong, issue a violation notice based on that and move it to a pre-hearing conference. That's what I would think, but I think we need to move it to the next stage. I don't think we can go directly to a final hearing, but I think we do need to move it to a violation stage.
Can I ask if this cease and desist is currently in effect?
Well, we issued the cease and desist back, I want to say on April 24th. I looked at it earlier, and it was to get them into compliance to get the licenses. So I would, what I'm hearing them say is that they're not open. But at the same time, even though they're not open, they're hosting events, even though they're not open. So it's not, I think we need to take into effect that they're operating, and they're operating, we have to look at the operations. I don't want to jump to a conclusion, but they're operating their business in such a way as they have described today.
Can they host an event this weekend? The cease and desist was to get them into compliance, is that?
Well, the cease and desist was that they didn't have any license at the time the cease and desist was.
So now they do.
So now they do, and this is what they're doing with it. I mean, I think they've explained what they're doing. I mean, if we get to the discussion of the BYOB, they need the common vic, but then they have to provide meals, and they clearly were not doing that. They stated that they were charging people to come in with their own alcohol. I mean, there's a lot of issues that are going on that we need to address, which I think we move to the next stage with a pre.
So we need a violation report from Barry, an official violation report. This was a incident report, or does he need to reformat this into a violation for the commission to review? And
no, I don't think so. I mean,
No. We have enough here.
Yes.
All right.
You know, it seems that there's a lack of communication breakdown. Basically, maybe from our end and also from their end, from not reading. But moving forward with these BYOBs, I think there needs to be clear communication.
Madam Chair.
I think we should bring it to the next step. I mean, this is rather confusing because there wasn't a license, but now there is one. But at the same time, it seems like they're running it. They have applied their own rules. I don't know.
Also, can we offer as a recommendation that perhaps they get some kind of representation? Just moving forward, I think it would be better for them. Someone who knows the regs and regulations and guidelines. That would help them out tremendously.
If
you don't mind me asking, what will be the next step? The next step, if you don't mind me asking, to be able to get a representation.
I think that's what we're trying to figure out right now. Commissioners.
Well, you're not, we can't force you to get representation. We can recommend you get representation because it doesn't seem clear. It's not clear to us that you know what you're doing.
We're not following the rules of the BYOB and all that stuff. I think they just think they got the piece of paper and they can free fall and do whatever
they want.
Yeah. Maybe they need to contact that lady that was here earlier, Linda, whatever her name is.
I was thinking that, yes.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Lisa.
So did you understand what we were talking about in terms of, you know, perhaps you need to get someone to help you out?
So I do
guide them through this
understand.
process.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking me. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry?
Oh no, I thought you were asking me. To my understanding is that you guys haven't decided because we bring new information that wasn't before, and I do understand that we were. I do understand now the difference between BYOB and the licenses. I do understand that we didn't know exactly which license which mean, but we did understood that when we went to the office license, to the license office, and we explained what we wanted to do. I thought by getting the license that we got, we were gonna have permission to do what we were trying to do. I do understand now that that was not the situation, and I do understand that you guys haven't decided what to do exactly because we bring new information that you guys didn't have, and you recommend to us that to get representation. By representation, I guess you mean somebody that do know the difference between all the license that we need or not, right?
Correct. Someone that can help you
Generally,
better
that would be an
understand.
attorney.
Mhm.
Okay, a licensing attorney. Now, the woman that was representing a previous client this evening didn't represent herself as an attorney, but she seems to be very well versed in licensing. So I've never seen her before. She did a good job, but she didn't represent herself as an attorney. Usually an attorney, a licensing attorney, represents a licensee. So we can't recommend an attorney to you, but you ask around to other liquor licensees, they may tell you who they use.
Okay.
In the meantime, however, you have a restaurant license and you cannot open unless your kitchen is open and you're serving food. BYOB is secondary to that. In order to use your BYOB license, your kitchen must be open and you must be serving food to your restaurant patrons, customers. Is that clear?
and not charging them for bringing their BYOB.
Exactly.
May I explain to him just to
Yes.
confirm? So él está diciendo que la licencia BYOB es para distribuir comida a los clientes cuando estemos abiertos, que no se puede usar de la manera que la estamos usando ahora, que no se puede usar para servir comida así de nada más. Okay, we understand that part.
I cannot walk into Los Muchachos with a bottle of vodka and just sit down and start drinking vodka. I have to be served a meal. Is that clear?
So, él como cliente no puede entrar al restaurante con una botella cualquiera y beber, sino que tendría que hacer la razón del restaurante y servirle comida.
Okay. Sí, que ellos vayan a comer y pueden, ¿cómo es?
So just to confirm, they when the restaurant is open, the BYOB license is that the customer or whoever goes in, they need to get served, but cannot go with a bottle.
Dile.
They can go without a bottle. I can go to the establishment to have dinner and I choose not to bring a bottle. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna have maybe a soda or water with my meal. I chose not to bring a bottle. But if I choose to bring a bottle, I can't just bring a bottle and sit at the bar or a table and just drink the alcohol and not order food. I have to order food.
Entonces que si el cliente viene con la botella, la licencia que nosotros tenemos es que para poder ellos poder usar la botella tenemos que servirle comida porque esa es la licencia que nosotros tenemos.
Okay.
Sí.
Dile que nosotros que si hemos hecho una vaina que nosotros queremos hacer la cosa bien, toda la cosa right, toda la cosa que nosotros no queremos cometer mistake ni nada, que nosotros estamos, ¿sabes? Comenzando y queremos hacer toda la cosa bien por la ley, como todo manda, que nosotros no queremos hacer.
So our intention is not to break the law. As you know, as you can see us, we are new in this process where we did not understand exactly how the license and laws work. We did not intentionally try to do what we did because of misunderstanding of the licenses. We are trying to do everything by the rule.
Thank you. Chair Espinoza, I think you're ready to call a question on this if you have a motion from a chair, commissioner.
I would make a motion to move this report of the incident of April 23rd to a pre-hearing conference.
Second.
Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. We are moving, this incident to a pre-hearing, if you can let them know. And you will receive, I'm assuming you'll receive a letter informing you when you're gonna come in.
And that will be the case where do you recommend to us to get a representation to discuss better the situation of what
Correct.
happened? And we have a better understanding to explain the situation better, I believe.
Correct.
And I would recommend you call the building department and have a building inspector inspect the premises and give you a capacity. So we know how many patrons are allowed in there. Right now, the capacity is 0 on the license, and it can't be 50 or 80. It's probably going to be less than that due to the size. So we need to know, according to the building department, how many patrons that your business will seat.
May I explain to him? Sorry.
Yes.
So, lo primero que ellos dijeron es que la situación ahora mismo no va a decidir nada. Van a tener una segunda conferencia donde te va a llegar una letra, una carta diciendo cuándo va a ser. Ellos nos recomiendan primeramente buscar a un representante, o sea, una persona que sepa todas las licencias para que nos ayude a explicar el caso en el día de la conferencia. Segundo, el señor recomendó que tú tienes que ir para el building inspector porque la licencia que tenemos está capacitada para 0 personas. sea, la licencia no tiene persona por los diseños. Tú tienes que entonces ir al building inspector, al edificio de inspectores, que ellos vayan y que ellos chequen el lugar para que ellos anuncien cuánta persona puede tener el edificio, el building.
Okay.
And do you recommend to do he go to the building inspector before the next conference?
Yes.
Okay. Entonces tiene que
¿A dónde
hacerlo.
está ese building? ¿A dónde es?
Where
En
is
ese
the
70
Sorry?
Tapley.
En el city.
Yes, Tapley Street, 70 Tapley Street.
Anótate eso.
70 Capitol Street, you say, right?
Tapley, Tapley.
Tapley, Dpley.
Yes.
70 Tapley. Got it.
Thank you for being.
And no hookah. You're not licensed for hookah. That's a whole separate license. Do you understand that? You cannot offer hookah without a state issued hookah license.
Ellos dicen.
Que no podemos la juca.
Okay.
No podemos recomendar sin licencia. Understood.
Okay, well, thank you for coming. You'll be hearing from the license office, okay?
Thank you for your time.
Stay out of trouble.
Yo tenía que preguntarle que nosotros podemos operar el restaurante y todo eso normal, ¿verdad? Todo eso, pero sin nada que tenga que ver con bebida y restaurante de comida.
Question before we let you go, and I'm sorry that we bother you a little bit more time. He was asking that not if we about the restaurant. As you know, we are waiting for the sign to open the restaurant, and we do have the license for the restaurant. Nothing related with the bar. Are we gonna be able to open the restaurant, or we need to wait for the hearing of the next hearing to be able to open just the restaurant?
You already have a license for the restaurant, but like Peter mentioned, I think there's a problem with the capacity on the license, Peter.
Well,
That's
that
what you were
capacity
saying.
says 0. Are you ready to serve? Do you have a kitchen set up and you're ready to serve food?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Y que pasó la inspección todo.
Entonces lo que está diciendo que la capacidad que tiene la licencia de 0. Por eso es el
Okay,
problema.
okay.
So I do understand by the capacity be 0. If we do fix that problem, the restaurant can be open without no problem. That would be the only situation that we have with the restaurant, the capacity.
That's go ahead, Peter.
I don't think we can answer that question tonight. So why don't you put those questions to the call the office tomorrow with regards to that, because I don't think we can answer all your questions. And wait for your violation letter, and you'll come back for our
after the hearing conference.
Right.
So for the office
Okay.
tomorrow to answer the question. Got it.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think we can move on.
Yeah,
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, let's move on to pre-hearing conference. We have GEO 195 Pine Inc., DBA Summit Package Store located at 195 Pine Street, Majid Nizam, manager of record, incident of February 21st, 2023, selling alcohol to a minor. Anybody here for Summit?
Yep. My name is attorney Josh Goldstein from the law firm Bacon Wilson, and I'm here on behalf of Summit Package Store for this violation. So we do not dispute the facts. We both read the report. We discussed through the report, and we accept that we don't dispute the facts. My client understands he made a mistake, and he's deeply sorry for his mistake. He understands being a manager of record is a privilege and not a right. He's typically at the store at least 50 hours a week. And on the night at incident, he left to pick his son up from a sporting event. And he has assured me that, he will, moving forward, he will not allow this to happen in the future. him and all employees are now tip certified as of March 21st. I recently just received the confirmation, so I can forward that to you as well. This is his first incident within the applicable time periods as set forth in your regulations at section 2.32. And as a result, we request that any suspension, my understanding is that for a first time offense, it's typically a 5-day suspension. So we request that it be held in abeyance. And we are asking questions if you have it.
What happened to the employee that made the sale?
He is Dean made sure that he is now tip certified. That's as much as I know.
Okay, so if I understand this right, everyone is now tip certified. They weren't in the past.
My understanding, Dean, you can confirm, but Emmanuel was not tip certified at the time of the sale.
Why?
Dean, do you have would you like to provide any insight? Dean?
Yeah, I'm sorry I thought you were doing conversation. Good evening to everybody. He was just newly hired because the previous tip certified person was left the job. So he was under training, and he was under training for a little bit so he can be a permanent employee. So then we decide once he agreed with us, until that time it was too late already.
So you left the store with a trainee in charge of the store who was not tip certified?
I was there. I was just left him because I need to go pick up my son from his game that was ended, and I just left him for 45 minutes, and that incident happened.
So the answer to my question is yes.
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 I'm sorry about that. We were not knew that he would be permanently employed, and he was under training under my supervision, and unfortunately that thing happened.
That's a very unfortunate thing to have happened, to
Chair,
sell to a minor.
I don't think we've had the facts read into the record by the police, just to give us the allegations that are being made.
Right.
So Barry, could
Sorry about that. So on February 21st, between 4 and 8, members of the Firearms Investigation Unit were conducting citywide compliance checks of package stores. We utilized the Springfield Police Cadet, Melody Cruz. She's 19 years old. We sent her into several of the establishments attempting to purchase alcohol. During the operation, the only property she had on her person was her cell phone, the pre-recorded money used in the investigation. We also took a stand-up photo of her showing her appearance during this operation, which is attached to the report. At about 6:55 p.m., Cruz entered Summit Package Store located at 195 Pine Street empty-handed. Cadet Cruz entered the store and was able to purchase a 12-pack of Twisted Tea without being asked for identification. Officers then entered the store and positively identified Emmanuel Barraza as the person who sold Cadet Cruz the alcohol without asking for her identification. The manager of record was not at scene at the time. The clerk indicated he was not tip certified. He also had no identification on him and provided his personal information, which the officers were unable to verify. And we recommended the one violation of selling alcohol to a minor.
Thank you. Thank you, Barry. Any questions from the commissioners?
Every liquor licensee, since I have in 20 years since I've been a commissioner is told, make sure all of your employees are tip certified and make sure you have current copies of their certificates on hand. And this is the exact opposite. We left the store in the hands of a trainee who was not tip certified. This cadet, you may pass it on to her, Barry, does not look 21. So I would have carded this person dressed like this. And there's no excuse, just no excuse for this.
So I do understand that you said everyone is now tip certified. Are there any other changes that you have made to make things, you know, better and make sure that this doesn't happen again?
Yes, I do. Of course, that person is under kind of trauma after I came back, and he made sure that he will ask everyone. I told him if somebody looks like 30, you need to ask ID. And I left like this, and I was stressed that, but unfortunately, when I come back, he was on, you know, the officer just told you what happened, you know. So I was surprised too. And I'm so apologetic. I'm so sorry about that. You know, it was too late. You know, what can I do?
How long was this person an employee of yours from the time he started to the violation?
I think it was second or third week. I was with him all the time. You know, it was just incident happened. I just left and that thing happened.
Right.
Since they stipulated to the violation, can we move forward, Madam
Yes.
Chair?
Yes, definitely. So now
I will make a motion that we find the licensee in violation of selling alcohol to a minor, 1 count, and that the last violation they have, according to this license commission package, was in 2016, and the suspension then was for 3 days. And I would recommend that the suspension also for this incident be for 3 days, and it will be served on a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, which would be May 18th, 19th, and 20th, with 2 days to be held in suspension abeyance for 1 year.
is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singletore,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes.
So this is a pre-hearing conference, correct? So
Yes.
does a licensee accept that? The licensee has to accept that penalty. We move to a final hearing.
Can we me and my client discuss quickly?
Surely, of course.
Do we do a breakout room, or is it best if I just give him a phone call?
It's best if you give him a phone call.
Okay. Dean, please mute yourself and I will give you a call right now.
Okay.
Madam Chair, while they're doing that, there are other items of business. I did see that there's a note in the chat. I don't know if you saw that, but they're not on the agenda.
Oh, I did not see on the chat.
Is that Hash Gogri is here, and I'm not sure why.
Am I unmuted now?
You are.
Yes.
Thank you. So we were supposed to be on today's hearing for our beer wine license transfer from Gogri Family Inc. to Pit Stop Food and Fuel. We were sent the newspaper ad by Edna and Nieves. So we did advertise, and we were under Zoom link. We were under understanding that we were scheduled for today because ABCC is waiting for this to happen so that they can move forward with other transfer. So I don't see our name in our schedule. I don't know. Are we on today's schedule yet?
This is for where? For the Boston Road store?
Yes, sir.
A transfer?
Yeah, because the old license is held under Gogri Family Inc.
Yeah, we want to.
But we want to put both the licenses, the seasonal and this one, under Pit Stop Food and Fuel. So we requested that. And
Do you mind if we just wrap our aspect up quick?
No, go ahead.
No, I just want to let you all know that Dean accepts the 3 days, 3 and 2 suspension.
And I want to amend the motion to include the sign that will be provided to you, Attorney Goldstein, for the licensee to put on the door of the business to say why they are closed.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All righty. Thank you for your time, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Good
Have a
night.
good night.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night.
So
Hey.
I don't see that particular item on the agenda.
we did submit application, we paid the fees, and we were told to advertise. We did that, and we sent back the proof of advertisement and, whatever was required back. So the beer wine license is under one entity, Gogri Family Inc. And
Well, we can't hear it because it's not on the agenda. Unfortunately, again, it's not on the agenda, so we will have to talk to the license office tomorrow, see what happened, and make sure that you're on the agenda for the next meeting.
Specifically May 10th.
Am I correct, Attorney Cole?
That's correct.
They should not have to advertise again, though. I think when we've had this problem in the past, we have continued. Or
But
I
there's
don't know what else
nothing
we
to
would do.
continue because
I
it's not
know,
on the
it-
agenda.
but
I don't think
that
they
is-
should have to advertise again because it's already been done. I just think.
yeah, but she made us to, yeah,
Well, the ad was for tonight's hearing,
yes,
right?
yes.
Yep. That's what the email said.
Why we have a lawyer
Not-
here.
And
I have
I will check. I will check with the office tomorrow, but it's not on the agenda, and I'll figure out what happened. And we'll go.
Okay.
So we have to wait. When will be the next hearing?
That would be the 24th, May 24th is our next hearing.
Okay.
Let's make sure
Okay,
that
so-
can we ensure that, yeah, it's on the agenda.
So we will follow up with
Yeah.
the licensing office that make sure that we are
Yeah,
on
that
the
is
agenda.
specifically on the agenda. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, we will.
Okay.
We apologize for that.
no
Okay.
problem. Thank
right.
you.
Okay, thank you for understanding.
Yeah.
Okay, we have under new business. As a
Madam Clerk,
vote,
I think there was a request to continue my JoJo
you're ab-
Bellies.
Yes.
They made a request to continue
Yes.
that.
Did they request time or just, I remember reading the email, doesn't say how much time he needs. So I'll make a motion to continue my JoJo Inc. DBA Pot Belly Pub located at 153 Main Street, Carlos Sarno, manager of record. Incident of April 1st, 2023, failure to allow police officer entry to licensed premise, failure to call the police to report a disturbance, exceeding capacity listed on the alcohol beverage license, and allowing the use of smoking material without the required smoking permit in violation of MGL Chapter 270, Section 22. I continue that to May 24th.
Second,
Commissioner, Commissioner Cade, Commissioner Singleton,
yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Okay. Under new business, we have the vote on the 2023 seasonal population increase estimate. And I think that is, I don't know, this is continued again, or are we ready to talk about it?
I have information for the commission so that we can hopefully move forward with this. So we have these one-day entertainment permits, which the licensing commission, the license department is allowed to issue. The current Springfield population is 156,503, and there's a seasonal estimate increase of 10,000 people. So that would mean the total seasonal population of Springfield is 166,503 people. And this is based on a number of events that are planned for the summer of the season, where there's an anticipated that the Strong Young Minds Festival will bring 1,000 participants to the riverfront for Juneteenth. The Worthy Beer Festival is going to bring 1,000 participants to Worthington Street. The Springfield Pride organizational parade block party at Springfield Technical Community College anticipates 6,500 participants. The Ironman Group is bringing a total of 1,500 people into the city. There's the Motor Maids with 400 participants, the Hispanic American Library Incorporated New England Latino Festival at Riverfront Park is 1,800 people. The Commonwealth Murals Light Show, 3,000 people. And then the Indian Orchard Citizens Council Food Truck Festival, which is 1,500 people. It does not include the Jazz Fest and other events that have not pulled their seasonal permits. Basically, there's going to be more people in Springfield. We were trying to approve the population increase estimate so that the License Commission can issue the proper licenses.
I still don't get it. So are you telling us that 10,000 more people are going to move to Springfield during the summer?
Not move, not necessarily move, but they will be coming through Springfield with these events. So they will be spending time in the city, and it's just the population estimate of individuals coming in just for these festivals and events within the city.
We've never done this before. What does this have to do with the festivals, though? This doesn't.
Well, it just allows us to issue more licenses because there's more people here to meet the need.
The only problem with that, Attorney Pohl, is those people do not stay here. They come in and they leave.
And why do we need to approve an increase in population, which really we're not going to see? The population is residents, not visitors. So I don't know why we need to approve an increase of population to approve these festivals. These people come for the day and they leave, right?
Right. It's not approving the festival. It allows us additional capacity to issue licenses because there are going to be more people in the city over this season.
So if I understand right, I mean, there is how many seasonal licenses we have now?
I know these are one-day licenses, right?
Yeah.
So there is no limit to one-day licenses, or is there a limit?
We were talking about seasonal licenses as well. So I think we can issue. We have 2 additional licenses that we could issue for a seasonal license.
Because our population, so.
Okay, I get
So
it.
with our increase in population, you tell us we increase on the number of seasonal license.
Correct.
No. Yeah.
But those are residents. The population is residents, not visitors. So are we justifying the issuance of seasonal alcohol licenses based on people coming to Springfield for the day for these festivals?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's ludicrous. That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
So since we only have 2 more seasonal licenses to distribute, adding more people or the population increase would justify, providing more seasonal licenses.
I think the capacity at the 166,503 number will allow us to issue 2 additional.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
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 So
But we
Because-
can issue a seasonal package store license from April to November based on the fact that there's 6,500 people coming here on June 3rd for the Pride Parade.
I wouldn't say that it's 60. I would look at the the $10,000.
But they're not here on the same day. These are all different days, all summer long.
I understand.
I think they just need justification to increase the licenses.
Right.
So-
Yep.
And maybe they're
Get
gonna,
more revenue
maybe
into
they're
the
gonna be
city.
around for Airbnb. Maybe they're keeping things.
Yeah.
They're still not residents.
Yeah. So. Are we gonna make a vote?
Is there a motion? Take a vote? I'm sorry, but I wouldn't know what to say in this motion.
This doesn't make sense, so I can't make a motion on something that absolutely makes 0 sense.
Andrew?
No, I'm just thinking that, just trying to get some more specificity here. Attorney Poe, what we're saying basically is that the city wants to gather more revenue from the city. And so right now we don't have 2 seasonal licenses that are available. So in order to do that, we need to increase the population of individuals. Yes.
Right. I mean, we're just looking at the population estimate. The request is to increase.
Yeah, I got that.
But
Yeah,
we have no statistics. No one is saying people are spending the season here like they do in Hyannis. People go to Hyannis, the whole town opens up because it's summertime on the Cape. The population of Springfield, we don't have 10,000 people moving to Springfield for the summer, increasing our population by 10,000 people. As a matter of fact, we probably decrease this because all of those 10,000 people go to the Cape. So this does not make sense to me. There's no justification for a seasonal license in Springfield that I can think of. And I don't know why it's linked to these visitors for these festivals. These people come for the day and they leave. The Motor Maid Parade of Bicycle people are not going to spend more than a few hours here. They're going to watch a parade and go home.
So since we don't have residents to increase the population, we just going on concert goers or whatever the case might be coming into the city. So that's what we're basically basing this on.
Straining our existing package stores by another 1,000 people. So we need a seasonal license for the entire summer to serve these 1,000 people of the strong young minds.
These are only one-day events, right? Attorney Poe?
Yes.
Well, yes and
These
no.
are only just one day.
Right. There's
Some are a couple
yeah,
days.
the Ironman group race is 6th, 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Yeah, but most of them are one day.
Yeah. The Latino festival is multiple days as well.
Well,
So there has not been a motion, and I can't make for Madam Chair that it's just you.
I'm gonna make a motion and we'll take a vote, right? So I make a motion to approve the seasonal population increase estimate for 2023. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio?
Yeah, you had to start with me. What the heck? Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
No.
Commissioner Ramirez?
You're on mute.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I don't think Commissioner Cade voted.
I know, I was
Commissioner
waiting.
Kane? Oh,
Yes.
Commissioner Kane? Yes, I usually start with you, so I missed you this time around. So yes, so that is 4-1. Okay, so
Think of all the traffic problems we're gonna have this summer with all these extra people. So ridiculous.
okay, so second item is the discussion of issuance of BYOB.
All
We
right,
heard
so
plenty of that.
if I may, so
Yes.
we actually, spent a significant amount of time with Los Muchachos Bar and Restaurant.
Right.
They still have an incident report from 423 to review under the administrative review. Section 5 of the regulations talks about BYOB. It talks about the purpose, the eligibility, and everything that goes along with it. Specifically, I'm just going to look at the eligibility piece of it because it talks about it's only available to establishments that provide meals and that have been issued a common vic license. B says it shall only be issued to an owner in the name of the manager. It shall not be transferred without approval of the licensing authority. Applies to malt beverage, wine, and liquor patrons. And a D, it says alcoholic beverages may only be consumed between the hours of operation listed on the common vic license by patrons seated at a table with a meal being served by a licensee. Buffet arrangements are acceptable provided the food and beverages are consumed only at a dining table. I think based on what we've heard from Los Muchachos that they either did not read or did not. I hate to say, but it appears that they were not familiar with the regulations at all. But I think the bigger issue is the issue of how did they get this license in the first place, and how do we work through the process to ensure that I don't know, to be honest. I think they tried to explain what they wanted to do and they were given some paperwork. It appears that they have a common vic license if we look at it in their case, but they do not have they have no idea how to that they cannot operate their business without food. There are other concerns that go along with that, but with regards to the BYOB piece of it, the other thing that I did look into a little bit is there's really only about 3 BYOB licenses that are out there. And Barry, I will connect you with Anna to make sure you know what those locations are. But it's not something where, well, I don't even think Los Muchachos really want a BYOB license because they said they wanted a full liquor license. So I know at one point, I think the Big Mamu was a BYOB operation.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I think that, if they followed the rules, it would make sense. But if they have to have the right things in place to actually have this and then follow the rules. The rules, I think, are quite clear about the purposes, authority, eligibility, and even the application of the license in Section 5. We just have to do a better job of making sure that those things are in place and that they know what they're doing when they walk out the door. I think that's the high view of it. Barry, you can dig into the ditches at this point.
I mean, I would recommend it. Just again, my recommendation, when anyone applies for a liquor license, they come in front of this board, just like what was Mexarico. I forget the name because it was a couple hours ago. But again, I think BYOB, it should be the same thing. They should come before the board and they should explain their business, their experience. And I think if we did that, maybe we could, just like you ask all the new licenses, about tips, and we could probably avoid a lot of these issues that we've had. There's this one, but we can reflect back on Hookah Hayes in its glory days up there. I mean, they did the same exact thing. It was basically a free for all. And again, I don't know. I mean, I think if they came in and they were explained the rules, you know, they would have no excuse when they come before you. And I understand they're given a copy of the rules, but it's clear that they're not reading them or just don't care. You know, and it would also, having it on the agenda and have them come in front of the board, it would let everyone know what's going on. You would be aware that they have a BYOB, the police department would be aware there's a BYOB. And I think it would just be a better overall process. I'm not sure if that's something, I don't know if the rules and regulations actually dictate how they're issued. I mean, I know there's a very short application and a very minimal fee. But other than that, you know, maybe just changing the process so that everyone's on the same page. Because again, like from the very limited licensees who have tried, they've all failed. You know, because they're not really restaurants, and that's what it's intended for. I mean, that's the very nature of it, is to allow a restaurant to have its patrons bring their own alcohol. You know, it's not for a nightclub.
I agree. I agree with what Barry's saying. It's hard sometimes when, you know, a report comes across and we didn't know that there's a license, right? For example, this one under BYOB. But I also feel that, you know, we're not, like Barry said, we're not asking about experience. We're not asking about tip certification. We're not asking about any of their experience, but it applies. I feel like it applies because if someone comes into your establishment just because you have a BYOB and they bring a bottle, but they themselves are already intoxicated, what should they do at that moment? I don't know that they realize that tips, I feel that tips still applies.
Absolutely. You know, the other thing too, we might not know what the other BYOBs are doing because they could be charging just to bring alcohol in as well. They got that concept from somebody.
Right, and exactly.
Someone came, there was a conversation in the past here, and a number did come up how many BYOBs were out there, and I think it was a single digit number. And
I know Saray too.
Saray Turkish, yes.
Right.
I think it's like 3, to be honest with you, and now potentially 4 with this Los Muchachos, whatever. But I think it's a single digit number of how many are out there. But I agree. We need to scrutinize this process for BYOB a little bit more, because it like Barry and Rosa and everyone says, it almost follows a little bit like a regular all-season liquor license. It just being brought in by someone, and it needs to be police, if you want to call it. We need to be a little bit more.
Yeah, the only thing with I think that the pushback we'll get with the tip certification is that, you know, a part of the BYOB is there's not to be any, they're not to serve.
Right.
Any alcohol. So, but we can, I think we could revisit that. I think at a minimum right now, as Barry has stated, I just looked at the application process. And
very short.
It's the application is short. The process does require, you know, for them to have a common vic, for them to come in with a, I want to make sure I get it right. Sorry about this.
Yeah,
So,
but as
right.
you're looking at Attorney Pope, let's take some instance, like Commissioner Espinoza was saying, a person comes in who's already intoxicated. What is that established is to do?
Yeah, they need to know.
Comes in already with their own alcohol and get extremely intoxicated while they're there and leave the establishment. Where is the ratification?
They need to know the guidelines, I'm thinking.
Right.
So, I mean,
right.
Tip certification is definitely in line, I think.
So right on the one day or the one-page application I have for this place, the very bottom line says, I hereby certify under the pains and penalties of perjury that the above is true and accurate information, and that the licensee, manager of record, and all employees, both current and future, will complete an in-person insurance industry approved safe service of alcohol training program. So
That
I
is
guess
tips.
right. It is required.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't even discuss that with them. I mean, I think because it was so off the charts that I don't even think we had to bring that up. You know, but yeah, I mean, as far as tip certification, they're still responsible. You know, you can't let someone walk in with a bottle of booze that's already drunk and drinking your establishment.
Right.
And at the same time, you know, you walk in, it is a restaurant, you brought your own alcohol. What happened to the 19-year-old that is there for dinner? You know, who's going to monitor whether that 18, 19, 20-year-old is drinking from what was brought in? I think I don't know, we should look into it a little bit more.
So I guess the thing that I have, and it does in our regulations, it does talk about tips being tip certified as well. But I think as a licensee, I would say when it says a BYOB licensee employees establishment may not handle or serve alcoholic beverages. This includes storing, refrigerating, pouring alcoholic beverages. So, you know, that's the pushback that, you know, why do I need to be tip certified if I'm not handling or whatever? But it does say in our regulations that you need to be. So I'm not going to think like a defense attorney. It's late, but I kind of revert.
I think they have to be vigilant and pay attention and be able to say there's something wrong here.
So I would suggest, and I don't know, we probably should amend our application process to include something if the commission feels it is appropriate to allow the applicants for a BYOB license to appear before the commission as a part of a new petition.
Allow or require?
Require. That's, I mean, we'd have to amend our rules. It's included in that.
Now, I agree with that, Attorney Poe, but can we also add to that in reference to the tip certification? You know, appear before the commission in addition to having one employee or the person who is at least tip certified.
Well, isn't it already in there?
What it says is licensee must abide by all laws of Master General Laws, Chapter 138, rules and regulations of the ABCC and the Board of License Commissioners and the rules and regulations of the City of Springfield's licensed commissioners. That's not what I wanted. Oh, here it is. Talks about it says in letter K, the licensee manager record and all employees must complete an online insurance industry approved safe service of alcohol training program prior to issuance of the BYOB. Employees hired after the issuance of the BYOB permit must complete an in-person insurance industry safe service and alcohol training program prior to the beginning of their employment.
That's good.
Did they say they did that? I mean, I'm sorry.
No.
I just don't remember, but they certified that. They signed it, right, Barry, on their application? I know we're going to get. Okay.
Yeah. Squiggly line there. I can't tell whose signature it is, and there's no name above it. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a part of our regulations. That's a part of the regulations. But appearing before the commission is not.
Right.
Is that the only thing we want to change? Barry, do you have any other suggestions?
I just feel like, you know, I feel like there's no restaurants in the city that are serving food till 2. And I know they're required, if you're open, you have to have food available. But, even when we did the BYOB, I mean, I really thought there should have, and again, this is just me. I thought there should have been like a midnight restriction. And I think that would eliminate a lot of the issues we've already had and that we're going to continue to have, where people think this is for a nightclub and they're walking around with bottles. And, again, there's limits on the size of bottles. There's a lot of things in there. And in the end, they're all good things and they're all in there, but they're all being ignored in the few cases where licensees are operating a BYOB. I'm sure some are successful. We're not going to hear about those. These are the ones we're going to hear about. And I hate to make more work and say, oh, have them all come in, but in reality, they're going to end up here anyway if we don't do that. That's just I feel like midnight is late enough. If again, this was to allow restaurants to allow BYOB. Someone can bring their own. Start off beer and wine. Now it's all alcohol. And really, there's a lot of issues with that because all alcohol, like you can walk out with an open bottle of wine. You can't walk out with an open bottle of alcohol. I mean, there's a lot of issues that this policy kind of created that you need a lot more time to look at each part of it. But I mean, I don't know what your feelings are. I just feel like right now it's being abused, and this was never intended for clubs, it's intended for restaurants, so people could bring a drink if a place didn't have a license.
Right.
I have had licensees complain to me that this is a end run around having to pay for an annual license. They get a license for $25 and then they can charge their patrons for the corkage fee. And so they make money off that and they don't have to pay for a liquor license themselves. And it's like Barry said, this really is for Saray Turkish, who begged us to take their liquor license back so their patrons could bring their own Turkish wine to the restaurant. That's what this is really kind of intended for, not for some pop-up club that's going to open up and just allow all their patrons to bring handle jugs of vodka inside and listen to the music and pay $25 to the owner of the restaurant and the bar and just sit and drink. I've heard this complaint.
And once again, and that's why I recall, I think it was brought up asking what's the number of BYOBs we have. And I want to say it was a single digit. So increasing the workload, I don't foresee it because I don't think we have a large number of it right now.
Right.
And if we make it a little bit more tighter, I don't think it will increase the number as much.
I think it's kind of telling that we don't know, we, the commission, can't even pinpoint how many we have because we don't hear these.
Right.
If we had heard them, we would probably all know how many we have. The only one I can think of is Saray Turkish and is the Worthington Street.
Petra.
So just because it's 8 o'clock, just moving forward, is there a possibility that we can just go with the recommendation of the BYOB appearing before the commission and also a limit on the hour to 12 midnight? Just a recommendation.
Was that a motion?
That was a recommendation for the commission, just for discussion, but I definitely can make it a motion. Once I get.
Attorney Pro, are we looking for a motion or recommendation?
Well, you set the regulations. So
do we have to have a public hearing on that to change the regulations?
hold on one second. We could put it on the agenda to modify our regulations. I believe that's how it's done.
Yeah, sounds right.
So we could do it that way. So maybe we'll put some proposed language together for the next meeting. I'll put some proposed language together for the next meeting.
Okay.
So do we make that that item just continuance to our next meeting, BYOB?
Yes, and we'll yes.
Okay. That's a
For the
motion.
next meeting?
Yeah.
For the 24th? Okay,
Right.
so Andrew, that's a
It is a motion, absolutely.
Second.
Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Okay, so on the administrative review of incidents, so we pretty much talked about the Los Muchachos.
Let's talk about it some more.
What?
No. No.
Peter, you said what?
It was light in my office when we started this meeting.
Yeah, it's pretty dark now. Do we, are we looking for a motion on the Los Muchachos for a pre-hearing conference?
I think we did that, didn't we?
I think we did that already. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next one is the Panage Banquet Hall incident of April 15th, 2023. Did everyone have an opportunity to read the report?
Yes.
Okay. I make a motion to take no action.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes. Before we adjourn, I do want to congratulate Commissioner Cade for receiving the is it Community Music School Excellence Award.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
I did see those pictures, you know. I said, oh, there he is. I know him.
Right.
Okay, then I make a motion to adjourn at 7:57 p.m.
Second.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa, yes.